Hey guys, King here and welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make some pretty good looking GUI on Roblox Studio. Let's get right into this. So first off, what you want to do is of course go ahead and open up Roblox Studio so you can actually create it. And what you want to do under starter GUI right here, I just have some just kind of chilling here, but under starter GUI go ahead and click on this and add a screen GUI. And then once you add this, just go ahead and name it whatever you want it to be. And I don't really know what I want it to be, so I'm just gonna leave it as screen GUI. So basically once you have this, now we're gonna go ahead and get into the creating of the GUI. So what you want to do is go over to Pixlr, that is pixlr.com/e/, and yeah, it's completely free and you can get 3 exports per day, I believe, but there's actually a way around that. So it limits you to 3 exports per day, but it's completely free. But to get around that, what you can do, you could actually just go ahead and open up multiple of them, and if you go ahead and click create new on each of them, you can go ahead and get 3 exports for each of them. So, or you can pay $2 a month for the premium where you get unlimited exports, or I think it's $9 a year. So yeah, you can pay $9 a year to get premium for the entire year, and it's really good and really cheap. If you go ahead and get Photoshop, you could use Photoshop, but Photoshop is expensive and it's $30 a month, but this is only $9 a year. So I would recommend using it, and it's free, which I also use this for all of my YouTube thumbnails, so it's really awesome. Go ahead and click create new and go ahead and choose whichever size you're looking for. So if we're gonna create a button, then we would want to do this one, which is 1080 by 1080, and then it will bring us up with a square right here. Which actually what we're gonna do first is we're gonna create this bar right here, which displays how much money or currency or whatever it is that you have. So yeah, also by the way, whenever you create GUI, you make it whatever shape or whatever you're looking for in your game. But yeah, in this video we're mainly gonna show how to create this UI right here and a few buttons. So yeah, so what we're gonna do is create this bar right here first. So let's go ahead and head over here, and for the height, let's just go 500. I feel that's a good height. And then for the width, let's just go 2000. So 2000 by 500. Let's go ahead and create this, and yep, that's a pretty good size. So go ahead and click on the little shape icon right here, go to circle, and just go ahead and drag in a circle. If you hold down shift, it will make sure that's actually proportioned correctly. If you don't hold down shift, you can kind of move around, but just hold down shift, move it right there. Let's go ahead and make sure that is white. Go ahead and click Control D and just move it across, so right over here, however long you want it to be. And I'll just go ahead and click Control D again to add another one. Click this little square icon right here, the rectangle, while you're selecting it, and there we go. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna move right here, and we're just gonna click Control D and then just move it down. Make sure that is positioned correctly on the circle so it looks good, because if it's just this, then there's that little gap right there. But let's just go ahead and move it right there. If it's directly in the middle, then there won't be any gap. So about right there is good. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and right click on this and just go merge down. We can actually merge visible, because yeah, make sure it's unlocked. There we go. And now that we have this right here, let's just go ahead and go this and click backspace just so it's positioned correctly. So there we go. Let's go ahead and scale it down as well. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add the little gradient. Go ahead and keep it white for now, because we'll add the gradient later, but right now we're just gonna add layers. So go ahead and select it, click Control D, and just move it down a little bit, not too much, just a little bit, maybe right there. Go ahead and go up here to the adjustments, hue and saturation, and just move the lightness down. Not too much, maybe right there. There we go. And now go ahead and grab this layer and move it down. So then we have a little darker shadow on the bottom that can be however big or small you want it to be. Let's just go ahead and keep it right there. Now once we have this, go ahead and right click on this, merge down, and now we have this little bar with the little gradient on the bottom, which is awesome. And now let's go ahead and click filter, and let's go outline right here. Make sure that's outline and not outer glow, and just move it down so it's darker than the bottom one. Not too much darker, but just a little bit. And I would say that's about good. Let's increase the size of it, and alright, I think that's good. And now we have this little thing right here, which is awesome. And now what we're gonna do is add the colors. So select it, go select pixels, layer, new layer, just like this. And now go to this little gradient icon right here, click this, and now just go ahead and choose your gradient. So let's say we want a green gradient, so let's go green right here. There we go, awesome. And let's go to green to yellow. So let's go up here, move it down, maybe right there, so kind of green to greenish yellow. You can also make it a multicolored gradient. If you go ahead and go underneath like this, click the little plus, you can go ahead and make it multicolored. If you go ahead and do this, but I currently don't want that. You can add as many as you want by doing that, but let's just go ahead and remove those. So let's go ahead and move it down here and then drag it all the way to the top. There we go. Also, by the way, the left color is the color that will appear first. The right color is the one that will appear second. So if you go like this one is first, that one is second. You can also make the gradient shorter. If you only move the blue dots like this, then you'll see that's small gradient. But if we move it all the the way across, then it goes all the way. So if you only move it a little bit, only a little bit of a gradient. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and drag it up until like right there. And there we go. There's our gradient. Now go ahead and select this square right here. Just click in the off space. So over here, just so we can deselect it. Go back over here to arrange. And now what you want to do, right click this, go down to blend mode and go down to apply. And go ahead and click the X right there. So there we go. Now we have this little bar. And what we can also do is let's just go ahead and click Control D to duplicate this. We can go ahead and add an outline. So if you go to filter, let's make it a black outline. So there we go. You make it this however big or small you want it to be, or you might just not want to add it. So we're going to do that. And why I click Control D is just so we can go ahead and compare them. So we can compare it if we want it or not. So if I go ahead and hide this layer, this is without an outline and this is with an outline. So yeah, I like it with the outline, so I'm just going to delete that bottom layer. So there we go. Pretty nice. And an easy way to actually change the color of this is you can click on this, click like Control D, and let's just go ahead and hide that bottom layer for now. So now that we have this new copied layer, you can go to adjustments, hue and saturation, and you can grab this right here, just move it to the side so we can see it, and you can just like change the hue of it, and it makes it really easy. So right there, I actually kind of like that one. I'm not going to use it, but that's a pretty nice one. But yeah, you can completely change the color. So there's like one for gems, there's like a darker one, there's like a purple one right there that you could use for like rebirths or something. You can also move it like over here, and maybe we would want to use that one for like maybe coins or something. Probably kind of flip it though, and maybe that one would actually be rebirths. So yeah, many different colors. You can also change the saturation, move it down, move it up, and yeah, many different things that you can do with this. So now to go ahead and export this, and I think these sides are fine. If you're making an actual game, you might want to like rescale it or make a new thing, so you can go ahead and get rid of like this empty space on the sides. To do that, let's actually go ahead and duplicate this real quick and then just merge it down. So you could go ahead and go over here, go to free, you can scale it like this, but that might make it look kind of off. That's like the easy way to do it right there, but it kind of looks weird. The proper way to do it would be like make a new one, and then maybe just like instead of 2000 by 500, maybe you would do like 1700 by 500. So maybe something like that, or you could just like redo it and make it longer. So I think that's good. So we're gonna go file, and we're just gonna go, you need to export it. I always just save it. I don't really know the difference, but I just go save, and then I always just save it as a PNG. And now go ahead and open up Roblox Studio once again, and under screen GUI or like whichever one you make, let's just go ahead and add, we want to add an image label. So right here, an image label, go ahead and grab that, and now down here scroll down, and under image, go ahead and add a new image. So I named it green bar just like this, and there we go. So you'll see that's a little bit like off scaled, but we just go ahead and scale that up like this. So let's just scale it until it looks good. So maybe about right there. I think that looks good. You can get the proportions right and everything if you go ahead and look at the size of your actual thing, but I think about right there is good. Now go ahead and scroll up, and under background transparency, go ahead and bring that all the way up, so then it's just completely transparent. So let's just go ahead and scale it down a little bit more actually, and let's just put it right there. If you have a little icon, this is also when you would want to add it. Also, I do recommend like actually naming this stuff. So under, instead of image label, I would just name it like bar or like whatever this would be. But what I also recommend doing is adding in another image label with like your vector or whatever. And if you don't know what a vector is, basically it's just these things right here, the little icons that games use. So if you say like we want a pet vector, it would be like this thing right here, just a pet icon. This would be in like a pet inventory or something. Or if we want like a green gem, it would be like this one right here. And if we want like a hat, let's say this one right here. So yeah, you can actually get these vectors from a person named like Rhinos, but you can go ahead and check out their thing, and you can actually buy this vector pack, which has like hundreds of vectors, and I think it's only like $12. So you can get this entire thing for like $12, and it's awesome. And they come in many different variations. So what I like doing is I like coming over here, and then I want to grab one. So let's say this green gem right here, let's go ahead and grab it. So let's just align it right there, and I'm just gonna add a black outline just so it kind of fits the theme. So there we go. Let's go ahead and increase that outline. Awesome. And now that we have this gem, we're just gonna go ahead and scale it up just so it's like fits the box correctly. Let's go ahead and save it now. Now once you have your vector, go ahead and toss it in. Let's go ahead and import this one real quick. There we go. Let's go ahead and increase the background transparency. Awesome. So there we go. And I completely forgot that I think you actually have to go ahead and rotate it before you bring it into studio, because I don't think there's a way to rotate it over here. So let's hop back over here, and let's just go ahead and rotate it a little bit just like that. And now let's just go ahead and change that image real quick, and there we go. Awesome. If y'all do know how to like rotate an image in Roblox Studio, please let me know, because that would make it so much easier. But now we're just gonna move it kind of towards the end of this, and there we go. We can always modify a layer, so I think that looks pretty good. Let's also go ahead and name this. We're just gonna name it like green gem vector. So green gem vector, just like this. Let's just go ahead and name it. And now for this bar, let's go ahead and click it. Well, actually, this should also be like kind of under the bar. So yeah, actually, well, there's probably a proper way to actually go ahead and assemble all of this. Like the proper way to do it is put it into frames and all of that stuff. But this is just a simple way how to create it and possibly sell it. So there we go. Under bar, let's go ahead and click this and let's add a text label. So text label just like this. Let's go ahead and grab it. So let's move it kind of towards the center. We'll change all that stuff later. So what we are gonna do, let's just go ahead and increase the background transparency. Awesome. Let's scroll down and let's go ahead and change the font. So for font, what I usually do is the luckiest guy font right here. I think it looks pretty awesome. So there we go. Now scroll down again, go to text scaled, and that will increase the text scaled. Go ahead and go to text color 3. Go ahead and make it white. There we go. Or whatever color. I personally think white is good. And then let's go ahead and scale it up just so it matches. And all right, about right there works. And instead of label, we're just gonna name it 999, 999. There we go. Awesome. We're just naming it this because it has no scripts in it right now. But if you make a game, then of course you would add scripts to it, and it would like change the number depending on like how much gems the person actually has. But for now, since like it's just the UI, we're just gonna name it 999. You can also add an outline to this by going down here, bringing this back up to 0 text stroke transparency. We're gonna get to 0. So I don't think we can actually change the size of it, but we are able to change the color. So if you want like a green outline or something, or maybe like a dark green outline, you can always change that. I think a black outline looks good because without the outline, then it's a little bit more difficult to see. So I think I personally kind of like the outline. So there we go. Now what we need to do is add the little plus icon right here. So if the player wants to buy more gems, then they have the option to just go ahead and click that little plus icon. So let's go back to Pixlr right here. Go ahead and click create new. And this is just gonna be a circle. So make sure that it's even 1080 by 1080. Go over here, add a circle. And we're pretty much doing the exact same thing we did with the bar, but just with the circle. Now just go ahead and go over to text. Just go ahead and click on the screen and click on plus. So shift plus just like this. Let's scale it down. You go ahead and grab this little bar at the bottom to actually scale it up. So move these down and scale it up. And what I recommend doing for this as well is using Luckiest Sky. So go over to fonts, go down to Luckiest Sky. You actually have to download it. Go to Google, look up like Luckiest Sky font, download it and click add font down here. I already have it added, so we're just gonna go ahead and click on that. Go over to color right here, make it white. There we go. Of course, you can use whatever font, but I currently think this font looks the best. So let's go ahead and just scale it up. So there we go. And okay, it's kind of glitching for some reason. Whatever. Let's go to layer, new layer. Let's go ahead and merge it down. There we go. Now we have this little thing right here. And just so we can make it fit good, let's go over here, select this, go ahead and just click backspace. And there we go. Now let's scale it up. And awesome. Let's go Control D. Let's move it down a little bit. Now we're just gonna go ahead and go to adjustments, decrease the saturation a little bit, not the saturation, the lightness. Move it down. Let's merge this down, and there we go. We now have our button. You can either leave it like this right here, or you could go ahead and add an outline to it. I'm gonna just add a small outline to it. There we go. That looks pretty awesome. And now what we're gonna do, let's scale it down a little bit. We don't want it taking up the full thing. And now we're gonna go Control D, and now we're gonna make another version that takes up the whole thing, and I'll show you all why in just a second. So let's scale it up. Make sure that is centered by using these purple lines. There we go. So this is gonna take up the whole thing. Let's hide that. Let's go ahead and export this one real quick. And now once you export this one, go ahead and hide it and export this larger one. And now once you have both of those, let's just go ahead and go under here and add an image button. So there we go, an image button. Let's just move it towards the end, scroll down, and under image, go ahead and add the small image. And awesome. Let's just go ahead and scroll up, hide the background. So there we go. We should have probably made the outline a little bit bigger. Yeah, if we made the outline a little bit bigger, it would probably like match the thing right here a little bit more. Also, you don't want the button too big or else it kind of like takes away. So I think that's a little bit good. It would probably look better if we made the outline of the button a little bit bigger, but I think it's okay. Now, once you have your button right here, under hover image right here, go ahead and add the bigger one. And there we go. So what this does is whenever we hover over the button, it just makes it bigger. So it's just that little like detail that makes the game like look good, and it allows the player to know that they're like actually clicking on the button. Instead of making it bigger, you could always like make it tilt or make it like go dark or something. But yeah, I think making it bigger looks awesome. So whenever the player hover overs it just like this, it makes it look a little bit bigger. Here's an example of the good GUI whenever like the buttons actually move and stuff. Also, by the way, this is for a game that I was like working on. I haven't finished it, so the UI isn't properly scaled. But if you click on this, you can see that it gets bigger. And then over here, as you can see, it actually looks like the buttons are being pressed down whenever you hover over them. Again, this isn't finished, so all the UI isn't really scaled, so it does look a little bit goofy still. But yeah, as you can see, the buttons like look like they're being pushed down, and that looks really awesome. So yeah, there's another example. They go down, and I think they go a little bit darker, not too much, but yeah, they actually look completely awesome right there. But now that we have this right here, let's go ahead and make the other thing. But before we do that, let's actually scale this stuff down. We should have probably scaled it correctly in the beginning, but yeah, let's go ahead and scale it down because now we're gonna have to rearrange everything. So make sure that you do scale it down before you actually do all that. So there we go. I think that's a good size. The only thing that we do have to change is like the size of the text box, but that's pretty easy. We can always just go like this, and there we go. Text box resized and replaced. Awesome. So now that we have all this, what we need to do is we need to make like the box right here. So this is the little box where you would actually buy the stuff. So if we were to click on the plus, this would pop up and it would allow you to buy even more. So to do that, what we want to do, let's go create new, and for width, let's go maybe like 2000. I think that would be good. And for height, let's go like 150. So 2000, 1500. Go ahead and go create. And yeah, I think this is a pretty good size. So let's go ahead and go over here. Let's go to shapes, and we want kind of beveled edges. So let's go to maybe this third one right here, and let's just scale it up, and or I think around right there is good. Let's actually go for 2 squares. So let's go for a square right here, just so the edges don't like go weird, because the edges, as you can see, kind of go weird if you stretch it too much. So let's just go 2 squares. So let's go 1 right here. Let's actually make it more beveled. So I think like this one right there, I think that's good. You can go ahead and choose like different types of bevelation, but I think this one is good. Now let's go ahead and change it to white. Let's go Control D, and let's just move it down like this, and there we go. Pretty nice. Now let's go ahead and just merge those together. And now for this, there's like many different options you have to like make it look, but let's go ahead and scale it down. Let's go filter, outline, and let's just go ahead and do this. So let's make this one really dark, maybe like right there. There we go. Let's apply that filter, outline, and now let's make this one a little bit lighter. So let's go like this, kind of so it looks like it has depth, and let's make this one a little bit lighter, and there we go. That actually looks really good. So as you can see, it kind of looks like it has like depth right now. And now once we have this, go ahead and go to this little tool right here, the like wand select. Go ahead and select on this layer, and just click on this white part right here. So it should only select the white part. If it like selects these other parts, then they're probably like too close to this white one. You can always change the tolerance right here, but go ahead and select this and click delete. Let's actually hide this bottom layer as well, and go ahead and select this, click outside, and now we should have this right here. We do have a little bit of white left, which that should be fine. You probably like won't even be able to see it in the final product, but you can go ahead and go in and erase this if you really want to. So now what we're gonna do, let's go select pixels, layer, new layer, and let's go ahead and make it green. So let's go ahead and do this, and let's go over here, make it green yellow. Awesome. And now let's go ahead and add this gradient. So there we go. That looks awesome. Now let's go ahead and go multiply just like this, and that's a little bit darker than I would want it to be. And yeah, we actually could have probably done lighter colors. To do that, let's just go ahead and select this. Let's go adjustment, hue and saturation, and we can always just make it easily lighter like this, and not too much lighter, but maybe like that right there. Now if we go ahead and bring this back, yep, the colors are much lighter and they look much better. So if we go ahead and bring in this bottom layer once again, and also we can actually position this underneath it, and then let's kind of scale it up so it's kind of hidden. So there we go. That is looking pretty good so far. What we're also gonna do is let's just change this. So we're actually gonna add like kind of a checkerboard pattern to this, kind of like how I did in my previous GUI video, kind of like how I did right here, but like better. So there's a checkerboard right there. Let's go over here, and let's just go ahead and hide all of this for now. We'll go ahead and come back to that. Let's go ahead and add in a square. So a square, make sure that you hold down shift to make it look like an actual square, and let's just make this pretty dark, not completely black, but pretty dark. And this might look good if it's kind of like a dark blue. So yeah, I think if you go ahead and put it on blue and kind of make it like a dark blue, that would look better. Now let's go ahead and go Control D, put it right there, make it a little bit lighter. And what we can do is we can go ahead and grab this right here. So we can grab this, And you could just make a checkerboard pattern with this by like clicking these and clicking Control D and do that. But I just came up with an idea. Let's create a new layer and let's merge it down with this just so we have it. Let's go filter, inner glow, and let's make it black. So just like this, let's go feather all the way, size only a little bit, maybe like that, not completely, but maybe like that right there. Let's bring it down a little bit, maybe like 40-ish%. So now we have this right here. Let's go Control D. There we go. Let's go adjustment, hue and saturation. And how does the hue look if we change it? And all right, let's bring it maybe a little bit, maybe like -20. So there we go, a little bit of a different color. Let's zoom in and it looks like there's like 1 pixel. There we go. Awesome. So now that we have these right here, and I'm not really sure if I'm gonna like the look of this, but let's go ahead and click Control D and let's just go ahead and duplicate it. There we go. Now let's just go ahead and merge all of them down just like that. Let's scale them down. Let's go Control D. There we go. And I think that's enough. So let's go ahead and start expanding it downward. So we actually have to go like this. There we go, for like the actual checkerboard pattern. And now we can go ahead and bring them down. And all right, I think that's good. Let's actually do it one more time just in case. And all right, now I think that's enough. So let's go ahead and merge all of these together just like this. And if you need it to be bigger, you can always like go like this and just move it right there, which I'm actually gonna do that. There we go. Now let's go ahead and merge those together. So now let's go ahead and bring these layers back. There we go. Let's bring it to the back and we're gonna kind of add it like this. So okay, that's not exactly how I pictured it in my mind, but it looks all right. Let's go ahead and bring it like right there. Let's go ahead and select this. So select pixels, and now we're gonna bring back this layer, select it, select inverse selection, and just click delete. So then you'll have like this thing right here looking pretty good. To be honest, the inner part didn't really turn out how I expected it. It kind of looks like too realistic for what I'm going for, so I might change that. And let's see an outline. So outline, let's see how this would look. Black outline. There we go. And let's just increase that a little bit. There we go. We also have to delete these borders actually, so let's just go ahead and delete those. And there we go. This is our thing. We kind of like way overcomplicated that, but it looks good. Let's go ahead and scale it up though and like reposition it. And there we go. That's our box. Let's go ahead and export it. And now back over here, let's go ahead and add it. So this isn't gonna be under the bar because it's not really a part of the bar. I mean, technically it kind of is, but let's just go ahead and add a new one. So let's just go image label. So image label right here. So let's scale that up a little bit. Let's go ahead and go down to image and add our background. Let's go ahead and click create, and there we go. There's our background right there. Let's go ahead and scale it so it looks correct. Let's go ahead and remove the background, and there it is right there. Yeah, you make it a lot simpler if you want to by using flat colors. I kind of made it look a little bit weird by adding the shading on there, but yeah, now what we're gonna do is let's go ahead and make the little boxes so people can actually buy stuff. So for the boxes, we're gonna go 1,500 by let's go 1,000, and I think that's a pretty good size. Yeah, that's a pretty good size right there. Now we're pretty much gonna do the same thing we did for everything else. So I went ahead and added vectors to all of them, and I don't really know why there's those little bumps, but we can easily fix that. I just don't really feel like doing it right now. Like, you can always just like erase those. But yeah, I added tons of vectors. So this one, level 1, then tier 2 right here, tier 3, tier 4, and then tier 5. So let's just go ahead and export all of these. So now once we saved all of those, let's just go ahead and under this one right here, we should actually name this. Let's name it buy box, just because this is where the player buys them. And now let's go ahead and add tons of image buttons. Let's start off with one right here. Let's make sure we scale it just so it's a square. There we go. Now let's go ahead and add our image. So here's our image. Let's go ahead and scale it, and I would say about that's good. Now let's go ahead and get rid of the background. Awesome. So now that we have this, let's go ahead and add it like right here. We'll also add a title to this in just a second, but let's go ahead and put it like right there-ish. Now let's go ahead and click Control D. We should probably also scale it up just so we could add a little effect. But yeah, let's go like this, and then this, and then this right there. Awesome. Let's go ahead and select those, and let's put them right there. So now let's go ahead and scale down the entire thing just to make sure that it fits. And there we go. And there's all our icon icons right there. Now we're just gonna go ahead and add the rest of our images. So I added all the icons, and I also went back and added like the hover image to go ahead and make them smaller. So now all we have left is the title at the top. So let's go ahead and add like a 1000 by maybe like 800. Well, actually, let's go 1000 by 500. It all depends on like how big you want your title to be, like how long it is. For us though, we're just gonna type in gems like this, add the luckiest guy font. So let's go ahead and there we go. Let's go ahead and add a new layer, merge it down. Let's grab this and go Control D, and we're pretty much just gonna make this like all the other ones. And there's our title right there, looking pretty nice. So now all that's left is adding a text label like this. Click on this. Well, actually that should be an image label. So add an image label, click on it, go down and add the image, and here we go. Let's go ahead and add it in, and awesome, go ahead and scale it so it's correct. We could either put it right there or like kind of at the top, which I would probably recommend putting it at the top, but like I mean we kind of already put the stuff right there. So yeah, but I feel like putting it right there looks better. So let's put it right there, and maybe what we can do is go ahead and like grab this stuff. So let's put this stuff right there. Maybe we could just like kind of scale this down, which actually let's go ahead and do that. So for the box right here, let's just scale it down a little bit, and there we go. That looks pretty nice. We should probably make the box smaller whenever like we originally made it, like made it like shorter, but I think that looks all right. The sides are a little bit like bigger, but to be honest, I don't really think anyone in the game would notice it. But yeah, that is pretty nice. So that is how you go ahead and do that. You can do this for like anything. So if you're like buying rebirths or like gems or coins, do the same thing, just change up the colors if you want to. And yeah, that's how you go ahead and make GUI in Roblox Studio though. If y'all want me to go ahead and make more tutorials on how to make GUI, and also how to make scrolling GUI where you go ahead and scroll down, and some more realistic and better looking ones, and like tons of other options, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, that's gonna be all for this video though. So go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and I'll see you all in the next video.